Okay, so for my activity center, I chose to do shape versus form as the theme. And in the middle of my board, I put the definitions for shape and form. And then have shape represented on the left panel and form represented on the right. So I started off with form, and I have pictures of implied versus actual form. And for my activity, I decided to do a paper sculpture where students had to use at least two of these different techniques down here to create their own sculpture, and they could model it after something like an animal or a sculpture that they have in their home, or it could be abstract. So my example is this here. So I used 3 different paper techniques, but again, the students only had to use 2. And for shape, I have pictures of geometric versus organic shape on the top. And then for my activity for this, the students would be doing an abstract drawing where they take objects that are readily available around the room, or if they're at home doing this, any object at home, and they trace it. And the goal to make this more abstract is that they use at least 3 different objects and they overlap objects as they trace them, and also use at least 5 different colors. So this is an example that I did just of stuff that I had ready in my room. So as you can see, I have a bunch of different shapes and colors. And then for my third activity that combines shape and form, I decided to use Play-Doh. So the students would choose whether they wanted to represent shape or form, or they could do both. So an example of shape, they could flatten out Play-Doh like this and just trace shapes into it, like this one here. And I also did example of both. So here it's a cube, which would be an example of form, and then on some of the faces, I traced different shapes into it. So that obviously would be an example of both shape and form.